Hello everyone, my name is Tiffany. I'm the head of sales of firepitsurplus.com. We're the #1 retailer for gas fire pits. So today I'm going to help you make the decision between natural gas or propane for your future fire pit. So hopefully it's informative and helpful to you in your fire pit buying journey. So anyway, let's get started on the differences. So to start off, I just wanted to quickly talk about why I love gas fire pits. So gas fire pits are a real game changer for your outdoor living space. They really open up the home and give you a new place to hang out with family and friends, which I just think is such a beautiful experience. In addition to that, they're also much easier to use. So you can see in this second picture here, there's that push button and a knob. So that's actually how you ignite the fire pit. So gone are the days of having to have a match lit lighter or, even use matches to get these fire going. You can easily just put with a press of the button, turn on the fire pit, which is the ignition system that a lot of our fire pits actually use. So another couple key benefits of gas fire pits: promote clean air. Smoke with the wood burning fire pits can get in people's faces, can cause extra pollutants, and they're safer to use in this environment as well. One more thing I wanted to touch on is you probably see a lot of this, right? Natural gas versus propane when you're shopping on our website or similar websites. And I think that not a lot of thought goes into helping you guys decide how you can pick the difference between the two. So it might be a simple click of the button, which you might see on a lot of websites, but kind of doing this initial step to learn about the differences is going to save you a lot of headaches and a lot of money down the line. So let's get started. So let's talk about kind of the differences of what a gas fire pit could look like. So we have our internal propane tank storage fire pits, which host the propane tank inside. And then we also have external. So I'd say this is a kind of more premium option. You're available to shop them on the website. You can check that out on the link below. However, if you do want to go with a more traditional propane tank fire pit, I'd say most of them kind of use an external propane tank, which is going to be where you're going to want to buy a propane tank cover to ideally match the fire pit aesthetic. It's going to sit outside of it, and typically you're going to have a gas line or gas hose running from that external propane tank to the fire pit. Obviously, for natural gas, you're going to want to use your home's natural gas line. So you're going to have to hook that up to the fire pit to get that started. Overall, I kind of touched on this, but I really prefer these fire pits over wood burning ones. Well, wood burning ones have a lot of pros, and we also do have them on the website. They also have some cons, which can be the smoke that they put out and also the ash that you have to eventually collect, and just some considerations if you want to go wood burning versus gas. All right, let's get started on the pros and cons of propane. So I like propane because it's portable. It actually burns faster than natural gas, so it's going to heat you up quicker. The cons, though, are that it does last a shorter amount of time. You do need to refill it. You need to go to the store to refill those propane tanks, and it's generally more expensive per usage. So let's talk about that a little bit more. So when I say it lasts a shorter amount of time, you're going to get on average between 4 to 6.5 hours of usage from a propane tank before you're going to go and need to get a refill. So that's something to know if you want to have a long party with friends. You might have to have an extra propane tank sitting out, or you might have to run to the store in between the party. So for pros and cons of natural gas. So with natural gas, there's no refills, so you can be enjoying the night as it goes on. It burns a little bit cleaner, so it's better for the environment. However, it does have a higher initial investment than propane, and it's not going to be as portable. So you're not going to get to move it around your backyard, test different locations, things like that. Let's talk about the cost, which I know can obviously be a factor when you're buying these fire pits. So right now I'm not going to focus on the cost of the fire pit themselves, because you can shop on different websites and kind of find that. But let's talk about the cost of, after you buy it, what it's going to cost to run it. So cost of installing a propane fire pit, very cheap. I mean, you can do that within 20 minutes if you're relatively handy or you know how to follow basic instructions. It's super easy to install a propane fire pit. So that's going to be easy. You can do it yourself, or you could probably hire a TaskRabbit for, I don't know, maybe $50 to get that done. Now you are going to have to refill, like we talked about. So you're going to have to buy the propane tank, which you can see is about $40 to $50. Just did a quick search online. And to refill it, it's about $16 per refill. And the refill rates also fluctuate based on the economy. It's usually about $3 to $4 per gallon. And within a 20-pound propane tank, there's about 4.5 gallons. So that's where you get those figures. Let's talk about the cost of natural gas. So I'm going to have a few notes over here. So if you see me looking over, that's why, because it's going to get a little bit more technical. So for average cost of a gas line installed to a fire pit, you're looking at $14 to $25 per linear foot. And that's going to depend on the length and the complexity of that installation. Gas fire pit fitters, so that's going to be the person that you're going to want installing this. You're going to want someone that's a little bit more technical and comfortable around gas lines, because this is a very important job. They cost around $45 to $200 per hour. So when you're looking at actually installing the fire pit, it can run you between maybe $250 to $350, but then actually running that gas line to the fire pit, that's where you can get a little bit more expensive, maybe in the $500 to $1,000 range, depending on how the length of the fire pit from the gas line, the complexity of the route, things like that. So I would definitely recommend talking to a gas fitter and getting a quote prior to, buying the fire pit if that's a concern. As far as environmental impact goes, I'd say that, again, generally they're both going to be better than a wood burning fire pit. Now, if you had to pick one over the other, I'd say natural gas is going to give you the edge there because it produces less CO2 emissions. So if you're an eco-friendly type of person, I would definitely consider natural gas. And we also have bioethanol on our website that is super, super clean. It's the cleanest form that you can buy for a fire pit. So if that's a priority for you, I would definitely recommend checking out bioethanol fire pits. As far as availability goes, so, getting a propane tank is pretty accessible. You can go to Ace Hardware, you can go to Home Depot, places like that. You can easily buy a propane tank. As far as the availability for natural gas, that's just going to be dependent on your home and the gas line for that area. So I know that this is pretty standard in urban or suburbs. However, rural areas might not have gas lines as easily accessible, in which case you might want to opt for natural gas. In which case you might want to opt for propane. Convenience, we kind of talked about this a little bit already, but I'd say if you really want to maximize convenience, probably go with natural gas because you're going to need those ongoing refills for propane. Now, it might be super inconvenient the day that you get the installation done. You might have to set aside 4 to 5 hours. But overall, I think in the long run, if you know that's going to be your forever home, or you're looking to, do renovations and increase the value of the property, then natural gas is going to be a good way to do that. And then as far as compatibility goes, what's really nice is a lot of the times people think that this is a permanent decision, like you can't switch from one to the other. I'd say it's more common to switch from propane to natural gas because we have conversion kits from manufacturers like Elementi here, but it is possible to switch from natural gas to propane. It's going to be really dependent on the brand of fire pit you buy, but I'd say for the most part, going from propane to natural gas is a transition I see a lot of customers make because maybe they just want to get something going, and then over the summer there's when they're going to do that big project. So they'll buy the propane to start and then eventually convert it to natural gas, which is pretty easy to do. We have an installation manual that makes it super simple. So ultimately, which one is going to be the right choice for you? That's really just dependent on what you're looking for. If you want something that's going to be fast and easy to set up, maybe you're looking to move places eventually, and this fire pit is going to be something that you'd either want to bring with you, or it's just not something that you really want to invest a lot of time and money into, then I'd recommend going propane because maybe you won't be using it as frequently and you can have it, for the times that you want it. Now, I personally love using our home's fire pit. I use it, every couple weeks. And so with that, I'm really glad we've invested in our natural gas setup because we're able to use it on an ongoing basis. It's unlimited. It's a little bit more clean burning for the environment. And yeah, just super happy with the kind of cost that we've been able to save over time because on a per usage basis, natural gas is definitely going to give you an edge over propane. All right, guys, well, that's pretty much this video. If you're interested in learning more, please visit us at firepitsurplus.com or give us a call at 888-671-4611. I'll have a link to shop our gas fire pits in the first link in the description, so make sure to check that out. And feel free to comment any other questions you have concerning fire pits or backyard living, and I'd be happy to make a video on it. Well, thanks so much, and I hope to see you next time.